Let's do the musical bit first, then we'll have a chat.
Not exactly gay, but sure as hell he's racist. If I'm honest, I feel somewhere in the middle, a little. I've been trying to deny it for a minute. It only comes out when I look at who I'm kissing. It only comes out when I look at who I'm kissing, kissing. I've been so blue, ashamed and afraid, but when I look at you, can't think straight 'cause I like pink. Try to hide it, but you saw right through me. Can I tell the truth? Can't think straight 'cause I like pink. I don't know why it's so important that you name it. Won't wear a label till I'm ready for the changes. It's not a phase, but I just don't know how to phrase it. Phrase it. It's hard enough to find someone who really sees you. Even I look in the mirror and I'm see-through. No one gives me color quite the way that you do. You do. I've been so blue, ashamed and afraid, but when I look at you, can't think straight 'cause I like pink. Try to hide it, but you saw right through me. Can I tell the truth? Can't think straight 'cause I like pink.
Hope you enjoyed that little pink excursion. Maybe it wasn't for everyone, I don't know. But anyway, no need to wait now, weeks and weeks for a deep dive. We're diving straight in. You've seen this car before if you're a subscriber. Nikky Jacobs' Silvia S13, based of course on the Anus Remus. I was asked if I could build this car and I looked more into the car, thought how wonderful it was and built it. And I think quite a few people saw the video, and it turned out Nikky saw the video as well and put a comment on and liked it, and that was really thrilling, to be honest with you. I like this build so much, I really can't see myself taking it off the car, to be honest. I think if I want another build on a Remus, I'll probably just buy another Remus. To see more details on the real car, to see the full build, and also what I think of driving the in-game car, click the link below and watch the video. Moving on now to a drift car, and it's Sara Choi's Mazda RX-7, based on the ZR350 in-game. I think it's come out looking really good. I was very lucky that the Princess Bubblegum livery was there to help me complete this car. Again, there's a video, it's linked down below, you may have seen it already, going through what I think of driving the car, and spoilers, I really like it, and of course details on how to build it. The third car will be the last one you may have seen before in a video, and it's Kristine Sandvik's drift car. Now this is a very special Honda S2000. It has Dodge Viper V10 engine in it, so it must be something to drive. There are quite a few photos available of the car with the bonnet off, and that's how I built it, but I have found photos with the bonnet on. So it has a matte black bonnet, that's a hood for American by the way, with a power bulge in it, and I thought it would probably be better to display it like that, but that sort of hood is simply not available for the in-game RT3000, and the ones that are available are nothing like it, so I decided to go with the hood or bonnet removed option instead. It's a slightly simpler build because it does not rely on a crew colour, you can just paint the car hot pink, but again, for more on driving the car, spoilers again, I do like it, and for the full build details and more pictures of the real car, watch the video below. Now, because pretty much pure fluke had ended up with me having 3 of these pink JDM cars already, that was the nucleus that made me set out to actually find pictures of pink JDM cars to try and complete a collection. This picture really jumped out of the screen at me when I was looking for a pink Toyota Soarer. It's the Allstars drift team, And my only regret with this build really is that there wasn't a livery that would in any way get close to the livery that's on that car, so I've had to have something a bit more muted, which is a little bit sad. The picture, by the way, you're seeing is not mirrored. They have literally done this thing where you carry the livery right through, so you see it reversed on the far side of the car. So when Rockstar do that, don't always think it's a bug. Some people do that for real on their cars. Whatever platform you play on, the Previon is the fastest coupe, so it's undoubtedly something you'll want to own. It's not my favourite for driving in this garage. It's very neutral, and then will finally break, and sometimes quite quickly, into oversteer after you think you can just push it forever. But at least it's still available, unlike the next car, the Futo. Although let's be honest, if you want a Futo you can just grab one off the street, so really they are still available. And the Futo, of course, based on the Toyota AE86. I based mine on one that is on the Extreme Sport website. They make this wild body kit for the car, and it's not my spelling, that's how they spell it. I guess the major difference is that the real car fades from pink to purple, whereas mine goes from purple to pink. I did a review of this car ages ago, which I will link down below, quite an old one. But in summary, for driving, I think you love it or you hate it. If you like to drift cars, and especially if you have a controller, which I don't, so you can moderate the power, these are fun to drift. But for actually normally driving around the town, they're not that quick, and of course they are subject to oversteer where you don't want it, so really it's up to you whether you want one of these. But as you can grab it from the street, plenty of free test drives. Well, from free to about 1.2 million once you've unlocked the trade price is the very similar looking Futo GTX. One reason you might want to spend 1.2 million on this rather than the free one is that the GTX has pop-up headlights and a coupe rear, whereas the free one has the fixed headlights and the notchback rear. Now, what's unfortunate when you come to build a lot of these cars is you will find that you want one with, for example, a notchback rear and pop-up headlights, and of course it doesn't exist, so you often have to make a compromise when you're building an AE86 in the game as to which platform you use. When I drive it, to me it feels very similar to the free Futo, to be honest. As you can see, I based this one on Hiromi Kajikuma's drift vehicle, and I only found reference to this in a video, so you're looking there at a still from the video. However, the next car was much easier to find photos for because the owner, Louise, Jahrl, is very active on Instagram, and you find photos of this car there and in other places. Louise's Supra is a wonderful creation. The light pink gave me a lot of trouble finding the true colour. I had many goes before I hit the correct colour. But yeah, it looks superb. You see it in her photos online with both silver wheels and the silver and black, and I simply went for the silver and black as the easiest of the options to do. You probably already own a Jester Classic in game. It's such a popular car for real and in game with so many build possibilities. This is my second. I also have Brian's in the movie collection for the other one, and I have them both tweaked up to the max because I really enjoy driving these cars. I think they're great fun, so something that's highly recommended from me. Now moving on to a car that you must have owned or still own because it is free to just about everybody, I think, these days. The Elegy RH8, based of course on the Nissan GTR, the R35. I've already done a review where I did quite a few builds on that, and I guess I should have called it Manufacturer's Catalogue Episode 0. I didn't know I was going to carry on doing videos like that at the time. It includes a little review as well. So I won't go too much into the car in great detail, but the one I was trying to copy was this one that I found in a news article, which was a sort of chrome deep pink. The real car has a chrome wrap on it, and I thought, well, that looks really stupid. That looks like a GTA car. I got to try and copy this. But the real truth is, I couldn't. I'll include this picture out in the sunlight as well, where you can see it looks a bit better. But I couldn't get the chrome effect I wanted. Now, I never showed you in the Crew Colours video, but you can paint your car chrome and then put the crew colour on top of chrome, and that gives you some of the crazy finishes you see sometimes in people's garage tours. I did it, in fact, for the Darts Combat from The Dictator that is in my movie garage, and it worked quite well. But I really struggled here. I followed other people's guides and colours, and when I did them, in some lights you just couldn't see the pink. The car was just chrome. Now, if anybody knows how to make a really good pink chrome that works in all sorts of lights, then please let me know and I'll change the car. Otherwise, you all know how it drives, and you all know there's a second reason to get one, which is to turn it at Benny's into the last car in this collection, which we'll see in a minute. But for the moment, moving on to this Kuruma. So I based this car on Alyssa Lubertazzi's Lancer GTS, which is a 2009, which puts it around the same vintage, I think, as the Evo X that the Kuruma is actually based on. There's no point in arguing about exactly which mark it is, because A, it looks close, and B, we only have one in the game. Now, Alyssa wanted to personalise her car, and she didn't want to lower the value of it, so in fact this was all done via a wrap. And although she put a black bonnet or hood on hers, we can't do that in game. There's not a huge amount of customisation available for the Kuruma. On the plus side, it's still available, and it drives pretty well. You've probably got one because they're cheap, or you've got the armoured version, but yeah, they're absolutely fine. Okay, I skimmed over that a bit because I wanted to get to this one of my absolute favourites in the garage. Partly it's a favourite because of the colour. I think this colour is wonderful. I found it on a picture of a car for sale. I can't tell you any more about the car because it was simply a sale advert, but it just looks wonderful. Again, it took me a while to match the colour, but I really don't care. This is another one of those cars that will probably never be taken apart once this collection is dismantled at some point in the future. Any comments below that it's not an R33, I shall just ignore. People seem to get very worked up about this for reasons I can't tell. The one in game is basically a mixture of R32, 33 and 34. It's the only one we've got of those sort, so it doesn't really matter which of those you're building, because this is the car you use and you call it the one you're building, in this case an R33. Not only do I love the looks of this car, but I also love how it drives. I really hope you have one already so you know what I mean. But it's fast, it's grippy, and yet it's also very easy to drift in and out of the corners, but in a way that is lovely and doesn't appear to slow you down. As soon as I bought the second one, because I already have Brian's as well again in the movie collection, I again took everything to maximum on the performance because I don't want to drive this one in anything other than the perfect state. A highly, highly recommended car. I really hope you already have an Elegy Retro Custom in your collection. If you ever want an example of how the light in the game affects the colour, we're doing the outro in the same car, but it looks completely different now in the sunset colours. I realised that perhaps having every car pink is not for everybody, but as I say, my collection started by accident, and as it grew, I rather came to love it, so I hope you did too. Of course, this was an interruption to our usual Sunday programming of garage tour deep dives. That will continue next Sunday, and that will be the second half of the sports car collection. If you've had any value or benefit from this video, then I really would appreciate a like. It takes you nothing to click it, but it really does help me to grow the channel. I thank you for that. If you like real cars in GTA, of course consider a subscription. And otherwise, and as always, I thank you so much for watching.